Very good morning, all of you. Uh, Welcome in the next lecture of radar and TV engineering. Today we will going to discuss about the continuous wave radar, the new topic in the radar and TV engineering. In the previous lectures, we have already discussed about the pulse radar application of the radar, and we have already discussed the frequencies and the other parameters of the radar. So today we are going to discuss about the CW radar, that is the continuous wave radar. The main content of this video lecture is the introduction about the continuous wave radar, pulse radar, Doppler effect, continuous wave radar, simple CW radar block diagram, radar receiver block diagram, transmitter block diagram, application of the continuous wave radar, advantages and disadvantages of continuous wave type of radar. So these are the main content of this video lecture. Now we have the objective of this video lecture is that they are the some objective. These are the continuous wave radar able to student will be able to understand about the CW radar. They are able to understand the Doppler effects. After learning, after watching this video, they are able to work on the CW radar or continuous wave type of radar. They are able to understand the application area of CW radar. The outcomes of this video lecture is the student will understand the concept of CW radar. They will also able to differentiate between the pulse radar and the CW radar. They also learn the Doppler effect. They will learn the application of CW radar. These are the textbooks and the references which is used to develop the radar lecture. These references is generally used to design of CW radars. So you will able to understand through these books about the continuous wave radar, the basics concept of Doppler effect, etc. Introduction to the Radar System by M.I. Skolnick, Tata McGraw-Hill, special Indian edition for the beginners of the radars, published by the TMH. References are Introduction to the Radar System by Merrill I. Skolnick, third edition, Tata McGraw-Hill. Radar Principal Technology Application by Baron Ade, Pearson Education 2004. Principle of the Modern Radar by Basic Principles, Mark A. Vichers, James A. Sir William A. Poole, ESD 2013. Radar Handbook by M.I. Skolnick, second edition, Tata McGraw-Hill. Understanding the Radar Systems by the Simon Kinsley and the Strong by Scientific Publication and the McGraw-Hill. These are the textbook and references book. Now the introduction about the Doppler effect. We have the effect in the radar system, that is the Doppler effect. A technique for separating the received signal from the transmitted signal when there is the relative motion between radar and target is based on the recognizing the change in the echo signal frequency caused by Doppler effect. Doppler effect is the effect in the Radar system, when there is a relative motion between the radar and target, is based on the recognizing the changes in the echo signal frequency caused by Doppler effect. It is well known that in the field of the optics and acoustics, that if either the source of the oscillation or the observer of oscillation is in the motion, an apparent shift in the frequency will result. This is the Doppler effect and is the basis of CW radar. If r is the distance from the radar to the target, the total number of the wavelength contained in the two-way path between the radar and the target are 2r upon lambda. So Doppler effect is the basis of continuous wave radar, because in this type of radar we introduce the new concept, that is the Doppler effect. If r is the distance from the radar to target, r is the distance, that is the in the meter or kilometer, the target and radar. The total number of the wavelength lambda contained in the two-way path between the radar and the target are 2r upon lambda. The distance r and the wavelength lambda are assumed to be measured in the same unit, because r is measured in the meter and the wavelength is also measured in the meters. Since the one wavelength corresponds to the and phase angle excursion of 2 pi radians, the total phase angle excursion phi made by the electromagnetic wave during its transit to and from the target is 4 pi r upon lambda radians. If the target is in the motion, r and the phase phi are continually changing. A change in the phi with respect to the time is equal to frequency. This is the Doppler angular frequency omega d and is given by omega d equal to the 2 pi ft. Ft is the Doppler frequency, or d phi over dt. That is the change in the phi with respect to the time is equal to the frequency, or d 4 pi r upon lambda dt. So it becomes 4 pi by lambda. dr dt is equal to the 4 pi by lambda dot vr. So 4 pi dot vr upon lambda, where fd is the Doppler frequency shift in the hertz and vr relative velocity of the target with respect to the radar. The Doppler frequency shift fd is given by, that is 2vr upon lambda, which is equal to the 2vr f naught upon c. That is the Doppler frequency. That is the 2vr v naught upon c. Vr is the we have already defined that the relative velocity of the target with respect to the radar, and f naught is the transmitted frequency. C is velocity of the propagation of the electromagnetic waves, as the same light waves. It travels with 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. If Doppler frequency is in hertz. We are in the K naughts and lambda in the meters, then the Doppler frequency is given by FD is equal to the 1.03 VR upon lambda. A plot of this equation is shown in the figure below. This figure shows the Doppler frequency versus radar frequencies. The Doppler frequency FD as a function of the radar frequency and target relative velocity. Doppler effect. So this is the Doppler frequency in terms of the radar frequency and target relative velocity. The relative velocity may be written as Vr equal to V dot cos theta, where V is the target speed and theta is an angle made by the target trajectory in a line joining a radar and target. When theta equal to the 0, Doppler frequency is maximum. The Doppler is the 0 when the trajectory is the perpendicular to the radar line of the sight. That is theta equal to the 900. So when angle theta is the 0, so at that point we will get the Doppler frequency maximum. The Doppler is 0 when the trajectory is perpendicular to the radar line of the light, line of the sight. Theta is 900 degrees. So this is the relationship between the theta and the Doppler frequency. Now we have the continuous wave radar is of interest not only because of its many applications, but its study also serves as a means for better understanding the nature and use of the Doppler information contained in the echo signal, whether in the CW or pulse type MPI application. So in this CW radar, we introduce the new concept of Doppler, or they will give the information about the moving target. In addition to allowing the received signal to be separated from the transmitted signal, the CW radar provides a measurement of relative velocity, which may be used to distinguish moving targets from the stationary objects or clutter. So continuous wave radar is provide the measurement of relative velocity, which may be used to distinguish the moving target from the stationary object or the clutter. So from this relation or from this study, we are able to find that the CW radar is generally used for moving target or the moving objects. Next is the CW radar. After studying the Doppler effect, we are moving to the designing of CW radar or transmitter and receiver section of CW radars. Consider the simple continuous wave radar as illustrated by the block diagram of the figure below. The transmitter generates a continuous oscillation, that is the unmodulated signal of the frequency f naught, which is the radiated by antenna. A portion of radiated energy is intercepted by target and is scattered, some of it in the direction of the radar, where it is the collected by receiving antenna. If the target is in the motion with a velocity vr relative to the radar, the received signal will be shifted in the frequency from the transmitted frequency f naught by an amount plus minus fd, as given by the equation fd equal to the 2vr upon lambda equal to the 2vr f naught by c. So after getting the signal, in the case of the Doppler shift or Doppler effect, the received signal will be shifted in the frequency. There is the changes in the frequency from the transmitter frequency f naught. It is depend on the moving of target or movement of the target. The plus in the changes of the frequency in the f naught plus fd, that is the plus sign associated with the Doppler frequency applies if the distance between target and radar is decreasing, approaching to target. That is, when received signal frequency is greater than the transmitted signal frequency. So the f naught plus ft is the case where the distance between the target and radar is decreasing, means approaching target. A minus sign applies if the distance is increasing, means receding target. Target is going away from the radar. So in this case, there is the minus sign. The received echo signal at this at a frequency f naught plus minus fd enters the radar via the antenna and is the heterodyne in the detector mixture with a portion of transmitted signal f naught to produce a Doppler beat node of the frequency fd. The sign of fd is lost in this process. So the received signal is heterodyned in the mixture detector, and the with the portion of the transmitted signal to f0 to produce the Doppler beat node of the frequency fd. The sign of the fd is the lost in this process. So in the receiving process, there is no meaning in the changing in the Doppler effect or the frequencies. So all signal will be heterodyne in the receiver. The purpose of the Doppler amplifier is to eliminate echoes from the stationary target and to amplify the Doppler echoes signal to a level where it can operate and indicates the device. So this is the main function of the Doppler amplifier in the receiver system of CW radar. It is work on to eliminate the echoes received by the stationary target, because in the Doppler radar we are generally interested to find the echo signal from moving target only. Its frequency response characteristics is shown in the figure given below. The low frequency cutoff must be high enough to reject the DC component caused by stationary target, but yet it must be low enough to pass the smallest Doppler frequency expected. Sometimes both conditions cannot be met simultaneously, and a compromise is necessary. The upper cutoff frequency is the selected to pass the highest Doppler frequency expected. This is the simple CW radar block diagram and frequency response characteristics of beat frequency amplifiers. Beat frequency amplifier is that is the mixer frequency amplifier or our Doppler frequency amplifier. So here we have a CW radar transmitter section that is producing the F0 frequency, and this F0 frequency is transmitted by the radar antenna, and through figure you are able to understand the concept. The F0 frequency is transmitted and it is intercepted by target, and some signal is reflected back again by the target, and this signal is in the terms of F0 plus minus Fd, because our target is moving. So antenna will again collect this echo signal from the stationary as well as moving target, and this will comes in the terms of frequency, that is F0 plus minus Fd. So in the detector, all signals are mixed, and Fd signal, that is the Doppler frequency, is passed from the detector, and beat frequency amplifier is amplify the level of the frequency to the particular level. Then we have indicator. So this is the CW radar block diagram, and the frequency and the response graph is given here of the beat frequency amplifier. Now, intermediate frequency receiver. This is the section of IF receiver in the case of CW radar. So in this we have one block that is the mixture, and oscillator will generate the oscillator signal, that is unmodulated signal, and in the mixture there is the output of the mixture F0, F0 plus FLF, F0 minus LF. Then we have sideband filters that will pass particular band, only one band, that is the sideband filter. Then F0 plus FLF, and receiver mixer. Receiver mixer will receive the some signal from the transmitter section and from receiver antenna. So it is given to the IF amplifier, then second detector, then we have a Doppler amplifier, then finally we have an indicator. In the Doppler amplifier, we will get the information or the frequency in terms of the Doppler frequency. Limitation of GDO IF receiver. The receiver in the simple CW radar shown earlier in the some respects analogous to the super heteroband receiver. Receivers of this type are called homodyne receivers or super heterodyne receiver with zero intermediate frequency. The function of the local oscillator is replaced by the leakage signal from the transmitter. Such a receiver is the simpler than the one with a more conventional intermediate frequency, since no intermediate frequency amplifier or local oscillator is required. However, this simpler receiver is not very sensitive because of increased noise at the lower intermediate frequencies caused by the flicker effect. Flicker effect noise occurs in the semiconductor devices such as the diode detectors and the cathodes of the vacuum tube. So this is the flicker effect. The noise produced by the flicker effect varies from 1 upon f to the power alpha, where alpha is the approximately unit. This is in contrast to short noise or thermal noise, which is independent of the frequency. Flicker effect is a term of thermal noise or short noise, and which is independent of the frequency. Thus, at the lower range of the frequency, where the Doppler frequencies usually are found, the detector of CW receiver can introduce a considerable amount of flicker noise, resulting in reduced receiver sensitivity. So our receiver will be less sensitive due to the flicker effect or flicker noise. For short range, low power applications, this decrease in the sensitivity might be tolerated since it can be compensated by a modest increase in the antenna aperture and or additional transmitter power. But for maximum efficiency with CW radar, the reduction in the sensitivity caused by the simple Doppler receiver with zero IF cannot be tolerated. Non-zero IF receiver, the effect of the flicker noise are overcome in the normal super heterodyne receiver by using an intermediate frequency high enough to make the flicker noise small compared with the normal receiver noise. So we have to increase the intermediate frequency high enough to make the flicker noise small, because heterodyne receiver is a special type of receiver in the communication system which is use the intermediate frequency IF amplifier. So we increase the frequency of IF amplifier to reduce the flicker noise. This result from the inverse frequency dependence of flicker noise. Figure shows that the block diagram of CW radar whose receiver operates with a non-zero IF. Separate antennas are shown for transmission and reception. In previous figure, we have already seen that the separate antenna is generally used to reduce the flicker effect in the non-zero IF receivers instead of the usual local oscillator found in the conventional super heterodyne receiver. The local oscillator is derived in the receiver from a portion of the transmitted signal mixed with a locally generated signal of the frequency equal to that of the receiver IF. Since the output of the mixer consists of the two sidebands on either side of the carrier pulse plus the higher harmonics, a narrowband filter selects one of the sidebands as the reference signal. The improvement in the receiver sensitivity with an intermediate frequency superheterodyne might be as much as 30 dB over the simple 0 IF receiver discussed earlier. This is the block diagram of a CW radar, Doppler radar with non-zero IF receiver, also called the sideband superheterodyne receiver. Since sideband is suppressed, sideband is passed only this type of the receiver, so that is known as the sideband super heterodyne type of receiver. So this type of receiver having a highly sensitive to the reducing the flicker noise. Next, we have the applications of CW radars. The measurement of the relative velocity of a moving target, as in the police speed monitors or in the rate of the climb meter for vertical takeoff aircraft. Control of the traffic lights, regulation of the toll booths, vehicle counting as a sensor in the anti-lock braking systems, and for collision avoidance. So the CW radar is generally used in the police speed monitoring, and they are able to catch the fastest speed vehicle. They are able to control the speed of the vehicle uh, or in the rate of the climb meter for the vertical takeoff aircrafts. Another application we have discussed that it is used in the control of the traffic lights, regulation of the toll booths and the vehicle counting at the toll booths, and it is used for anti braking system to avoid the collisions in the vehicles. Another application of the continuous wave radar is it is used in the railways as a speedometer to replace the conventional axle driven tachometers. In such an application, it would be unaffected by errors caused by the wheel slip on accelerating or wheel slide when braking. Monitoring the docking speed of large ships. Uh, CW radar is generally used to monitoring the docking speed of large ship. Measurement of the velocity of the missiles, ammunitions, or and the baseball. Another application of the CW radars that is it is used to measure the speed of the missiles. They are able to find the direction of the aircrafts and the missiles. Now we have some advantages and disadvantages of CW radars. The principal advantage of CW radar over the other non-radar methods of measuring the speed is that there need not be any physical contact with the object whose speed is being measured. In industry, this is used to measure the turbine blade vibrations, the peripheral speed of the grinding wheels, and monitoring the vibration of vibration in the cables of suspension bridges. Most of the above applications can be satisfied with a simple solid state CW source with power in tens of milliwatt. High power CW radars for the detection of the aircrafts and other targets have been developed and have been used in such systems as the Hawk missile systems. The difficulty of eliminating the leakage of the transmitter signals into the receiver system uh, has limited the utility of unmodulated CW radar for many long range applications. The CW radar, when used for short or moderate ranges, is characterized by simpler equipment than a pulse radar. The amount of the power that can be used with CW radar is dependent on the isolation that can be achieved between the transmitter and the receiver. Since the transmitter noise that finds its way into the receiver limits the receiver sensitivity. The pulse radar has no similar limitations to its maximum range because the transmitter is not operative when the receiver is turned on. Now, after discussing the advantages and the application of CW radar, we have some drawbacks or the disadvantages of CW radar. The major disadvantage of the simple CW radar is its inability to obtain a measurement of range. This limitation can be overcome by modulating the CW radar carrier as a frequency modulated radar. So the first drawback of CW radar, it is not given the range of measurement. This type of limitation is overcome into the next type of radar, that is the frequency modulated radar. Some anti-air warfare guided missile systems employ semi-active homing guidance in which a receiver in the missile receives the energy from the target, the energy having been transmitted from an illuminator external to the missile. The illuminator will be at the launch platform. CW illumination has been used in many successful systems. An example is the Hawks tracking illuminator shown in the figure given below. It is the tracking radar as well as an illuminator, since it must be able to follow the target as it travels through space. The CW radars allows the operation in the presence of the clutter as being well suited for the low altitude missiles defense systems. A block diagram of a CW tracking illuminator is shown in the figure above. Note that the following the wideband Doppler amplifiers is a speed gate, which is a narrow band tracking filter that acquires the target Doppler and the tracks its changing Doppler frequency. This is the block diagram of the continuous wave tracking eliminators. So this type of the block diagram consisting the magnetron, klystron, and AFC automatic frequency controller reference intermediate frequencies, and we have a balanced mixer, Doppler amplifiers, speed gate, skin detectors, phase compromising, servo systems. This is the all about of the division in the CW tracking eliminators. So this is the all about the continuous wave radar application advantages and disadvantages. Now, on the basis of this study, we have some multiple choice questions that are first multiple choice question. What is the primary function of the Doppler radar? Choice A, determining the two-air speed. Choice B, determining ground speed. C, determining altitude. Choice D is detecting the stealth aircrafts. The explanation of the above problem is that the primary function of a Doppler radar is to determine the velocity vector of an aircraft with respect to the ground. The velocity component can be integrated into distance traveled, and hence Doppler radar can be used as a primary sensor for dead reckoning. Second question, the Doppler radar works by measuring the dash of the reflected video waves. I say in intensities, choice B frequency, choice C Doppler amplitude, choice D is Doppler shift. The explanation of the above problem is that the velocity is determined by measuring the Doppler shift of the microwave transmitted from the aircraft in the several narrow beams pointed towards the surface at the relatively steep angles, back scattered by the surface and the received by Doppler radar receiver. Which of the following is not true with respect to the Doppler radar system? A, measures the ground velocity. B, transmitter power is high and requires the ground assistance. C, velocity is extremely accurate. D, all-weather system. The Doppler system is the self-contained. It requires no ground-based station or satellite transmitter. The airborne transmitter power requirements are extremely small, which leads to low weight, size, and cost of equipment. Question number 4, the Doppler radar cannot be used in helicopters. Question number 5, what is the change in the observed frequency called? A, Doppler shift. B, differential frequency. C, delta frequency. D, delta shift. In the Doppler radar, there is a change in the reflected frequency when there is a relative motion between the transmitters and the receiver. This change in the frequency is called the Doppler shift and is proportional to the relative speed between the transmitter and the receiver. Question number 6, the configuration in which the Doppler radar beams are both forward and backward looking is called as A, genus, B. Dula, C. Redundant, and D. Wide beam. Question number 7. What is the number of the beams that a Doppler radar uses? Choice A, 4, choice B, 2, choice C, 1, choice D is 3. What is the number of the beams that a Doppler radar uses? A genus configuration has less error than a non-genus configurations. True or false? Question number 9. Which of the following is not a requirement of transmission line? This question is based on the transmission line. A is the minimum attenuation of the signal. B should not radiate signal. C high power signal. D less noise. Explanation: the primary requirements of a transmission line are that the line introduce the minimum attenuation, less noise to the signal, and the line did not radiate any of the signals as the radio energy. All transmission lines and the connectors are designed with these requirements in mind. Question number 10. What is the use between the two leads wire of a parallel transmission line? A. Plastic. B. Ceramic. C. Metal. D. Wood. So parallel transmission line is a two-wire balanced line in which the insulating spacers have been used to keep the wires separate. Such lines are rarely used today. The spacing between the wires is maintained by a continuous plastic type insulation material or insulator material. So these are the some questions that is the multiple choice question on the base of the previous study. So today's lecture conclusion is that today we have discussed about the Doppler effect, continuous wave radar, working of continuous wave radar, and the block diagram of continuous wave radar. After that, we have discussed the application of CW radar as well as advantages and disadvantages of CW radar. So after watching this video, student will able to understand the concept of Doppler effect, and they are able to understand the applications area of continuous wave radar. They are also able to differentiate between the pulse radar and continuous wave radar. So thank you very much.